Can he find the box? What is his first chase going to look like? All of these things very important as we see Jason spawning in the desert area behind the gallows here. He's got a decent gen spread here, a couple of potential 3 gens, and no corrupt intervention. Very interesting build out of Jason here. Seems to be looking for the box in the main building. He's actually going to be breaking out the doors because he's not using the bamboozle, which a lot of Cenobite players in this set will do, specifically to deal with the main building. Box picked up by Pedro HZ here, and that is a really strange box spawn. I'm not sure if Pedro HZ picked that up and ran with it, but Jason unable to start the first chain hunt here by finding the box and just chooses to take the teleport onto Pedro.
I was actually, I gotta say, I was actually surprised that I was expecting the box to be down here. When we spawned in sort of deep in that desert area, back behind Gallows. It can be in 2 spots, and I personally feel like it's more commonly. Wow, that was a really fast generator.
Jason already getting punished for not using corrupt.
Yeah, I was gonna say I really felt like it's sometimes behind main and sometimes down by water tower, and it was in fact I think it was down by water tower. Our first hit is gonna come in here on Xeno, and they're gonna run to the general safety of the main building. Main building in DDS is extremely strong. These chains are really important, and wow, Jason little thought time, just instant reaction, nails that chain, and Xeno is gonna get slowed down and put into deep wounds by that original pain add-on. That's not running corrupt is really interesting though. Like you said, like it can really give the survivors a chance to get early gen progress that just couldn't come in. They would have to cross the map. We're coming back to this pallet unless we get a stun, which we do. I was gonna say this is pretty much where you go to die, but with these extra chains spawning, it looks like Xeno's just gonna go comp corner and die. How much gen progress do we get for that is the question.
I would say that at least 1, maybe even 2 gens is going to go from this. We can see a couple of survivors. Okay, never mind. I was a little bit over eager with the gen progress there. We got Pedro, HZ, and Silhe working gens alone. It's good that Elysium is splitting up here, and you might be wondering why Xeno just went to the corner to die there. He knew that the second time around the loop on the main building, he wasn't going to make it back to that window. So he went back to that, they call it the toilet pallet back there, and you just play that as long as you can until you die.
Yeah,
so
and again,
good amount of time there bought by Xeno.
And getting that stun did prolong it. Like it's you know, sometimes it's a game of inches, and getting that extra stun, prolonging it a little bit longer, and making it all the way to the corner. If that stun hadn't come through, if the swing through had come through, the hook comes in faster, and we're already out in the map, right? What do our gens look like here, though? We do have sort of 2 by water tower, which is a little bit more strange to see. Plus we have plus we have Gallows, and I think there's another one in the sort of desert area as well.
Yeah, so both of these gens going to pop here. Oh, actually, that's going to be Deadlock on the water tower gen, and Marco has been hiding here for quite a while. Jason opting to just straight up face cam Xeno. I think he's realized that with the amount of gen progress on the map, his only option here is going to be to try to tunnel Xeno off the hook with the original pain add-on. And I think that is probably why Marco is hiding around waiting for an opportunity to save. Looks like they are going to be letting Xeno go to second stage and just working on generators, which honestly from Elysium is smart. So what they're doing here, if you don't understand why they would be letting Xeno die, they're not actually going to let him die. They're going to unhook him at the last second, and they're going to trust his chase to carry them into the end game here. So Xeno's a very good player. And then they'll probably have somebody running with him to break those chains that come out of the Cenobite. So they're going to be doing their best here to get him off the hook, and that was a little bit earlier than I thought, Andrew. Xeno now possibly in his final chase, as he's already going to be in deep wound from the original pain.
Manages to make it to Shack. That's where you want to be, but unfortunately deep wounds is in. We're not going to see any for the people play or anything like that. We weren't really expecting one because it's so easy to put them into deep wounds. We made it all the way to water tower. These chains are not being friendly. Is there a window maybe straight ahead here? We're going to play maybe this window back here, but can we get the big juke? No. Very good patience from Jason.
No,
what's happening?
What? Oh, Xeno.
No!
Xeno, he got the perfect call out on the slow vault, and then he just... I guess he thought that Jason was going to realize the slow vault play and vaulted back. That is so unfortunate for Zeno. He had the perfect play like in his hands and he dropped it. But still, pretty good chase there from Zeno. He is dead, no. So that is going to be one elimination for Jason. 2 generators to go. And it seems like, though, Elysium does have significant progress on the map. So good stuff so far. They are going to need the last here. It's going to be Marco chained up. He's going to have some filler pallets back here behind the gallows area. But playing these filler pallets against Jason from South America is not going to be easy, as that is going to be Marco going to the corner. Pedro going to be finishing that 4th gen and activating Deadlock on Silhay's water tower gen. That is like the 3rd time Deadlock has hit that water tower gen, Andrew. It's almost like they've been saving it on purpose.
Yeah, maybe just like the way the gens are split. We're gonna get a teleport over to Pedro with the box. It's very interesting there. Marco made the choice, and this is just showing good comms, good strategy. If it pays off. Marco decided not to play those pallets in the back. The pallets, there's usually about 3 pallets back in this sort of deep corner area, and just opted to go to comp corner and die so that you could get a hook far away from that last generator, and it looks like it's paying off. I think that, yeah, it looks like Jason is not looking to continue the chase on Marco here and just wants to defend that last gen. Obviously has heard the gen cranking away. But we have a lot of progress over here on Water Tower. On Gallows as well. And yeah, it's the survivors have a lot of pressure. A chain does hit Marco and put them into deep wounds, but I don't think we can commit to that chase. At this point, though, you need a down. They're going to get the gens done, and you need to get maybe a fresh hook here.
Yeah, Elysium has like 2 different generators on like 90% progress. This is going to happen sooner or later. Jason needs to commit to something here, but that is going to be Gallows completed. And now he knows that Pedro HC is already in the vicinity of this door waiting to be unlocked. As he saw him out of the corner of his eye there, did he really just miss Pedro walking across his peripheral vision? Pedro is now going to make it all the way to main. He was definitely there. I'm not crazy, right, Andrew?
No, definitely there. Yeah. It happens. It's so easy sometimes. You know, when we're casting, we can sometimes see things that in the heat of the moment, you're trying to watch for 7 or 8 different things. We're not having to worry about controlling. We are seeing the gate start to be open, but that gate is not going to be open. Oh, it is actually. Sorry, I thought there was a little bit more time on there, but they had already started it before that. And we're going to see, oh, that lunge almost hits, but that's a really strong result for our survivors here. Jason realized that they needed to be getting a fresh hook, and unfortunately just lost eyes on Pedro, and Pedro made it all the way through main, and Lara came in there, Silhay came in for the body block. Really strong teamwork, and really strong result for our survivors.
Yeah, what a good result for Elysium to start this game out on. Not what you want to. Welcome back, everybody, to the Dead Dog Saloon. Here we have Obi for Team Elysium on the Cenobite, searching for the box here, spawned over behind Gallows, and he has already found the box at the water tower here. So, location on all of the Sinner's survivors, and the first chain hunt starting here for him. Definitely a strong start if you're a fan of Elysium. Now, Obi here, the win condition is not very difficult. It's going to be 5 stages, 3 fresh, or 4 stages, 3 fresh, or 5 stages here for Obi, as he's already finding chase at the main building. Not exactly where you want to be chasing, but Obi has a special little surprise that is going to help him here at the main building, as he gets that first hit through the window and reveals that Hex crowd control.
Interesting, both killers today. I don't know if we're looking at a new Cenobite meta, but no corrupt intervention again. We're looking at more of a shaman build here. We got a handful of totems going here. That crowd control, like you mentioned, and the survivors will have identified the fact that they're dealing with ruin again, like last match. Much quicker start because we did manage to find the box. Shack pallets down early. We did get a quick hit on SMSFR. But by this point last game, 1 gen had popped, so I'm wondering how much progress the survivors have right now. We're doing a little bit of mind gaming around this interesting town tile. Good chain by Obi, our killer. But they managed to make the pallet. I think, unfortunately, they went left and then went right, and our survivor threw the pallet, and we might be looking for a little bit more here. Get another hit on Jason here. I think this hit's going to come through.
Yeah, was that Jason there with a firecracker, maybe possibly looking for a save, and looks like Obi might be looking for even more. No, he's actually going to go for the pickup now. First gen is going to be done, but that doesn't really matter too much, Andrew. Especially considering when the last gen, or when the first gen came in the last trial, we can see that Sinners does not have much progress elsewhere. So first hook there onto SMS. Good start for Obi. And they are going to need to heal up Jason as this game is already getting a little bit difficult for Sinners as they're going to need to not give up more than 3 stages here extra. I mean, stages after SMS got hooked. So Obi here, he has a lot to work with. He doesn't seem to have a 3-gen over by Gallows, but that should be fine.
I was thinking in my head while you were saying that. I'm just like, they're healing right in the middle of the street. I mean, all you got to do is hit a chain and you're in deep wounds and all that healing goes away. And Obi, with the heads up play, does get this. And we're going to see a trade here too. So the heal on Jason did not come in because Obi was managed to, and that heal must have been very close to being finished. Obi manages to put Jason into deep wounds. We have a slug on Zoob, and now we've got potentially a very, very quick second hook here on SMSFR. This is looking really good for Obi right now.
Yeah, those point-blank chains that Obi just hit there across that little fence, those are a lot harder than they look. So very impressive stuff out of Obi. And that first hook wasn't a pain resonance either.
Wow.
It's going to hit the most progressed gen here as now all of Sinners injured except for Bucky. SMS is up on his second hook here. And I don't think Obi even cares about the down that he had on Zoob. He's just going to go back and put Jason back into deep wounds again. It's going to be one more gen done for Sinners here. Obi seeing if he can find Zoob here, put him into deep wound. Going to miss the chain there though. No line of sight. But Obi, he has a lot to work with here, Andrew. He's got multiple options here as to how he wants to reach this win con of 4 stages, 3 fresh.
Well, and if we see a really, really quick tunnel out come in here on SMSFR, we're looking at a pretty decent result. Like, not just I want to win the set, but like, you know, best possible result. And looks like we're trying to do that right now. We do find these chains. These chains are just spot on, and that's going to be it. Unless somebody comes through that window, no such luck. That is going to be a tunnel out and a death at 3 gens left. And this is shaping up to be a really strong result for Obi. We're 2 hooks away from the win condition, but the survivors have a lot of work to do with only 3 people to do it. So we'll see how they do here.
Yeah, so that's going to be the hit coming in onto Bucky, and he knows it's not safe to play this Gallows area, going all the way towards the main building here, but I don't know if he makes it, Andrew, with that chain landing. He's into the deep wound here, playing at a pallet that is not very strong, holding W from that pallet to a pallet that is even weaker, is now he's playing the toilet pallet. Obi with the short swing through the pallet, not going to work out there, but he is not going to make it back around once again. But he's going to slug here. Very interesting. He does not want the box to be done. Now that hook on Bucky there would have been the tie condition, so I'm not sure what Obi's angle is here. He's going to get the M1 onto Zoob. I mean, it's fine for him to be spreading more pressure everywhere, but you got to imagine that this is giving Sinners just a little chance to get back into the game, just not going for that tie condition hook here, as Zoob not going to be able to vault that shack window, is going to go down, and now he's going to be going for the pickup. So a little bit greedy there from Obi, but it worked out. Calculated risk, and he's going to be securing that tie onto Zoob here, and getting information that Jason actually never went for that pickup. So everything's working out. Everything is coming up in Obi's favor here, as whatever next hook he gets will be the win for Elysium.
That was wild. Yeah, like, I get you need gen progress. I understand you really got to get that done. But with Jason sticking that generator, you know, as soon as that pain res came in, Obi knew that, and that's going to be that there. This I don't know if we're going to go for the 4K, if we're going to get, well, we're going for the 4K. As soon as that pain res came in, and you know, just a second before Jason finished main gen, even if they'd finished main gen though, then you know where the last up survivor is, and the same situation happens basically. So Yeah, this is looking like this is looking like a 4K3, maybe 4K2. Survivors could come back from this. Don't get me wrong, but good check spots there by Bucky. Obi's looks like they might be looking for the. Yeah, we're going back for the last hook here.
Yeah, and this hook is the win for Obi. He was playing with his food a little bit, but this one is going to be the final hook that he needs. So we Jason gonna get put up on the hook here for the third stage, for the fifth stage, third fresh hook. And that is going to be it for Sinners. Just going to be playing for their pride here to see if they can finish these gens. But in this situation, Andrew, I don't think they will be finishing the gens.
Obviously, things got really great curve on that chain. It hits it from around the corner. Sorry, there's so many great chains. I can't keep my thoughts straight. I know things kind of fell apart for them pretty quickly with the quick tunnel out. Do you think that there was both teams ignored the totems, which I get is, as long as you're keeping the chases good and you're keeping the pressure up, it's fine. Do you think that maybe because of crowd control, the survivors might have been better to find the totems and break them? I know we're also dealing with, Thrill the Hunt, which makes that extremely slow, but...
Yes, I think you're absolutely correct about that, Andrew. Ignoring Ruin, fine. Lots of teams do it. Teams can play through it. You cannot ignore crowd control. It is one of those totems that you need to cleanse or you are going to lose. I think the only totems in the game that are like that are crowd control, if there's Devour Hope at 5 stacks, or Blood Favor. I think those are the only 3 totems that you cannot ignore, and Sinners just did not even really make an attempt to try to find it.
They may have. So I mean, again, we're just cleaning up the match here. We're talking about Dead Dog Saloon. I don't know if you noticed where the gen spawns were or not, but Dead Dog Saloon has some totems that are hard to find and some that are pretty standard. Like that one we're looking at right in front of us there, we were chasing over there. I'm almost certain that we would know that where that one is. They may, we're not seeing every survivor all the time. They maybe touched the totem, saw Thrill of the Hunt, and said, you know what, forget it, we'll just play through. So we may not be working with all the information, but I totally agree, and I think that crowd control is extremely strong, particularly in a map like Dead Dog Saloon, where you have a couple really strong windows, and I think it really hurts them in the end. But in the end, 4K3, extremely strong result. Again, I think the game-changing difference between the two teams was managing to get that tunnel out really quickly, and yeah, so that's going to be a W. That's going to be a win for Elysium on this first round.
And this is a decisive victory for Elysium on Sinner's pick. So keep in mind, we're going to be going into the Dark Lord next, which was Elysium's personal pick, most likely for Xeno. So it's not going to get any easier for Sinners here as we go into the next game.
Mm-hmm. Wretched Shop, I believe, right? Interesting map. It's interesting because I think I feel like there's a lot of different opportunities, challenges, and strategies depending on the orientation of the main building. Like if the main door is facing away from the map, it can create a different situation than if it's facing into the map towards sort of the dump truck area, or the bus dump truck spawn area. So I feel like that can really change the way both.
As I predicted, everyone, it is Xeno on the Dark Lord for Team Elysium here, already teleporting across the map in that bat form, shifting into the vampire form, going for a Hellfire. Not going to land, though, and neither is that M1 onto Wee Jason here. Xeno going for the pounce now with the wolf form. All 3 forms used in the span of about 10 seconds, and none of it is going to land onto Wee Jason, and another missed Hellfire is going to waste a little bit more of Xeno's time. Goes for the pounce again, and that was a very nicely done one there. Xeno really putting on the pressure here. He's been missing, but it doesn't really matter as Wee Jason going to get grabbed over the pallet there, and ooh, that probably looked bad on Wee Jason's screen, didn't it, Andrew?
That was a quarter second away from working. Yeah, it's just so and as Survivor, it's so hard. Which side do you end up on? The back and fly back and forth and back and forth. As you said, though, Xeno just this is what I love about a good Dracula set, is that a good Dracula just shift back and forth, finds the right tool for the right situation, just constantly back and forth. And we saw that. We went Bat, Hellfire, Wolf, back to Hellfire, back to Wolf, chase, do a dash, back to bat, great to grab. Just so much going on, such a quick succession. Interesting. We are seeing, I believe, if I'm correct here, we are seeing 2 bat add-ons from Dracula. I believe it is the Lapis Lazuli, which is the Bamboozle add-on, and I think that's the I believe those boots are extra range. One thing I find really interesting about Dracula is you won't break pallets, because it gives you extra teleports sometimes. Not always, as I say. But sometimes you leave a pallet down where there's no window, because you can easily teleport over to any vault, including windows, including pallets. So very interesting. We're getting close to going to struggle here on Wee Jason. Gotta tell you, really, really great chase from Wee Jason there, even though it did end up with them on a hook. Some good Hellfire dodges, some good Wolf dash dodges. Just Dracula's got a lot of tools to really get quick injuries down, and Wee Jason lasted pretty good. We do see our first gen pop, and we're gonna range out into the map.
Yeah, so Xeno here is comfortable to just camp Wee Jason. That down was very fast. Not that Wee Jason didn't do a good job of dodging that Hellfire and other things at those pallets, but it's just he found him so quickly here that Xeno has so much time here to go for this kill. Bucky is going to be completing the second generator, but Xeno is content to just sit over here by this TL wall where Wee Jason is hooked. Now extending out a little bit. Maybe he wants to place down that eruption on one of these gens. He seems to be just waiting for somebody to unhook Wee Jason, waiting for the teleport now. No, actually, he's just kind of patrolling the area in bat form. Goes back into the wolf now. Seems to think that there's a survivor nearby. Surely they're going to be unhooking Wee Jason, right? I mean, this is pretty far away for Xeno to commit, as it looks like Wee Jason is going to die on hook.
Did they let him die? Wow. Okay. Well, so maybe they're trading for a lot of gen progress. Like, SMSFR is about to finish generator, as we saw there. Zoob was working on one as well, but I mean, technically 2 gens, like a death with 2 gens left, is not terrible, but it's definitely not ideal either. We're gonna see a teleport over to Shaq. At this point, we're just looking to try and find a chase. We do see a chase over at this fun bus. Nice window for our survivors. That happened all so fast. I haven't even really taken a look at where all the generators are. Oh, the tree gets in the way. We're gonna make it to Shaq pallet. Okay. Oh, and through the generator, the Hellfire through the generator, Zoom does take a hit.
Yeah, and Xeno now back into the bat form here. He teleports to the window and blocks it. Wow, that was a nice play there from Xeno to teleport to the window and then immediately go back over it with the bat form before transforming into the wolf there. Really punishing Zoob for holding W away from that Shaq pallet there.
Again, it's so rough. Like if you leave Shaq pallet, bat flies over. If you stay at Shaq pallet, bat can fly over and transform back, and then you sit in that situation where it's not exactly a 50-50. You can react to it, but like you said, when there's a little bit of ping, you can't necessarily play perfect against which side the bat could end up on, right? We do see a chase here on Bucky. Unfortunately, runs into the lingering hitbox of the Hellfire. Good stun, though. We are going to keep on running. I don't know if there's another pallet over here. It looks like we're just going to try and make distance away so that we can recover across the map. SMSFR is still on the generator. Are we going? Are the survivors playing for a 4K1 condition? Because I don't think. There's not a close teleport. They might get this done. But then that's game over. Like that. That's it. We're resigning ourselves to a 4K1 against Dracula.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like Sinners really wants the gen progress here. Maybe they're confident that their Dracula can get a 4K2, or maybe is Xeno even going to be able to find? Okay, yeah, surely. SMS is going to get found here on the edge map, and I don't think he makes it to any of the people that are downed, Andrew. This is probably just going to be a 4K1 for Xeno, and that's a result that he can be very happy with here, as SMS going to be playing this pallet gym, goes back around the long side of it here, predicts that Xeno is probably taking the long way around, and where is Xeno actually?
Where is Xeno? Yeah.
Okay, he's actually he's a bat. So he's gonna be going back around this side of this filler pallet. Goes for a Hellfire flick, not going to land there. very low percentage shot, and that's actually going to be Lithe coming out of SMS. He's going to make some distance away from that pallet. Xeno with the missed basic attack, pretty punishing. But in this situation where everybody else is on the ground, it's not really going to get SMS that far. Hellfire comes out, is going to get that last down, and that is going to be a 4K1 secured for Xeno. I mean, that's the kind of result that we expected from his pick, one of his favorite killers in the game.
Great chase at the end, though. It's so unfortunate that it was like the final chase. SMSFR just like really just being patient, letting the Hellfires come over, not leaving the loop, and you know, so that you can catch up with Bat like it happened, left the loop, like really unique pathing, left the loop. It's so unfortunate that that came at the end instead of at the beginning. If you switch those first, again, no disrespect to Jason's chase, I said very good chase at the beginning, but SMSFR, fantastic chase there. If that chase comes at the beginning, I think we see outs. I genuinely think we see outs, or at least we leave the chase and try and catch somebody out. Like that was, yeah, really, really good chase. 4K1, I mean, I don't necessarily disagree with sticking the generator because you can so easily, particularly against a very mobile killer like Dracula, you can so easily get into the someone's on hook, someone's slugged, unhook, pick up the slug, the someone gets downed, and you just get into this situation where you don't get anything else done, and eventually they get the 3 slug out, and then you're at a 4K2. So was it the wrong choice? We won't know until we see Sitter's killer come in here. Like you said, most likely we'll see Jason, but never know. We won't know until after the match. But I think it was probably, it makes sense. It's just strange to see someone on hook across the map and your last survivor stick in the gen. So we'll have to see how it goes. We're just waiting for the hook states here to end off. Good puppy though. Good puppy.
Yeah, Xeno showing off the weird collision of these Autohaven cars, which has been a fixture of Dead by Daylight on Autohaven maps ever since the game came out. Doesn't matter what killer it is, as long as that killer has a dash, they're probably going to be doing something weird with the Autohaven car.
Very true, very true. Nothing like running directly into it as Billy and sliding all the way around it. It's...
I think the reason why we're not going to see the main building played a ton is because Dracula will just bat farm the window.
Valid. Absolutely. We got Corrupt Intervention. Actually, we have an identical build to last time, so lots of gen regression and Corrupt Intervention for the early game slowdown. We're just gonna cycle around. We do see some scratch marks here. Looks like we found Xeno. Very strong pre-throw. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, Pound's going to be coming out here. Not going to land. And I want to comment on something before Xeno gets hit here. We saw Killer Instinct for a second there, and that's what led Jason to this first chase. I think Xeno did that on purpose. He knew that the wolf form had just been shifted into, and he fast vaulted something to make sure that Jason knew where he was because he wants to be first chase. And that's going to be another miss on the pounce there. Great pathing out of Xeno.
I don't even know how that missed. Like, we had a couple really nice flares from Xeno on the last one for sure. That one was just a slight movement, and somehow it I'm sorry, I'm flabbergasted here. Jason looked like they went right through Xeno and just barely missed to the left. We are gonna see Hellfire hit here. We're not gonna be able to get around the corner. Can we body block in at the generator, and Xeno starts working on it. Like, listen, if you're gonna take a cooldown, I'm gonna get 1% gen progress. All right. Wow.
Congratulations, Xeno, on your 0.2% gen progress there. That was a really good first chase, though. Good start for Elysium, especially since Jason needs to get a 4K2 here to get the win.
Very stealthy play here by Pedro. I've enjoyed it. And we're going to take our sprint burst and run over to the hook. Now, the question is, are we going to see a For the People quick? I tend to think personally that For the People's stronger on your second hook when you're on death hook, but I've seen quite a few For the People's recently. It looks like they might have been going for it because Xeno was crouched. It looks like they were going for the People play, but it looks like we're not going to see it come through, and we're going to play the short side of the crane here. Good stun, though, by Xeno. That is going to be a really strong. We're going to get a little bit more distance here.
Scratch marks have disappeared here. What is that going to be from Xeno? Very interesting. They disappeared for a second for sure. That that looks like he's just got fixated there. So I'm not sure exactly what happened there, but Xeno makes it pretty far away from the crane, continuing to play this pallet gem. Now Wolfform going to be coming around the long side. Jason. Oh, but he gets the fake on the M1. Little bit embarrassing there for the killer. Xeno playing so well here, and he's going to make it back to the crane. Pounce comes out. Okay, he's not going to make it back to the crane.
Almost made it back, though. That was very close. Wow.
Maximum distance of that Pounce. Good idea to hold W there, but like if you're Xeno, you don't really need to last that long because you still have another hook stage on you. You know you have a survivor with For the People, and you know that your team is very highly progressed, efficient on the gens, and there's going to be somebody with For the People coming to help you out here on your last chase. So we're already at the last possible win condition for Jason. Next gen for Elysium will be the tie. And with Xeno set up to get a For the People off this hook, it's not looking good for
Pedro, is it? Pedro is the For the People player, though. So that's not going to be a For the People yet. Anyways, something could change. But Pedro was the one rocking sprint burst For the People. It's interesting, going back to that chase, I don't know where Xeno went, but Xeno did have fixated and Champion of Light. Either they went up and slow vaulted out the window, or they walked around, but because the scratch marks were gone, you couldn't see it. It would have been really interesting to know exactly where they went, but because we're in bad form, we couldn't see. The unhook does come in on Xeno, but there will be... Look at this. This is what happened. That's exactly what happened. Look how fast we're walking. Then it works again! Great play. Wow, great play.
Honestly, great job catching that, Andrew. I wasn't like entirely aware of just how stupid the fixated Champion of Light thing is. I guess stupid isn't the right word. Really interesting innovation there with the flashlight on Xeno, and another Pounce is going to be dodged out on by Xeno. Jason, time being wasted even a little bit more as he's trying to go for the Hellfire through a small crack, but this Xeno guy is a pretty good player. I think he knows that the Dracula can do that, and he's going to be playing accordingly. As Hellfire is going to miss, Xeno not going to make that pallet, going to go down. Is there anybody in the area for a save? If not, Xeno is going to be dead here. So, nope. It's going to be Xeno's third hook, and down to one generator now. It's going to be the tie condition met for Elysium in exchange for Xeno's life, and Marco is almost done with the last gen, Andrew.
There is a lot of gen progress on the main building gen there as well. The gen split is nice. They got one edge, one in the middle of the map, and then one in main, one in shack. So this is looking like another W for Elysium. I'm not saying it can't be done. We get it. We need it down, but we need it now. We need to get that eruption off. We need to find. Okay, we have found Pedro. Pedro does sprint burst away. This pallet is still up in this really strong jungle gym, though. Are we gonna go edge? Oh no! Hits the tree. Okay, does get the down. We're gonna have to slug. We have to slug. No, we have. Oh, pain res maybe. I don't think it's enough. I don't think it's enough.
I don't think he has enough time to get to this hook. So that is going to be the win here for Elysium, unless they blow up the gen, and they are not blowing up the gen. Not these guys. So that's going to be Elysium going up 2-0 in this series. Match point now for them. We're going to be going into, I believe it is the Artist is going to be the third set on ARP. It's going to be Sinner's pick again, but Elysium has been showing us that they don't really care about what is or isn't their pick. As Jason going to be trying to get as many hook stages as he can to increase his stats here. And I mean, now that the result of the match is decided, Andrew, I want to mention something that I saw earlier. Actually, I think this might be the first instance of the Tory Kane perk clean break that we've seen. It didn't activate, but Pedro HZ was having it there on his healer For the People build. Very
interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, it's interesting to see how people, how in competitive people can. Wow, I gotta tell you, Marco's been putting up a chase while we've been talking about other stuff. It's interesting to see how people utilize new perks with different builds and whatnot. Looks like we might actually look at this best case scenario. We're gonna try and jump around to get Marco here, but instead I think we may get neither. Not that it really matters; it just matters on the scoreboard a little bit. But yeah, so we are gonna see. That was I believe that was a 4-hook game. It's so unfortunate. I don't know. I don't know whether. Obviously, I think Jason did not realize both survivors were at shack, or didn't realize how much gen progress they'd managed to get. Because I think if you go bat form and teleport over, that you might have been able to stop it. That doesn't mean that it would have changed the results because there was so much gen progress.
On the
Can
artist with that Junji Ito special skin, really cool here. I don't think I've seen this one in competitive yet. And what a strange build here for Wee
I was
Jason.
gonna say, can
Rapid
I jump in there?
brutality, batteries included.
Batteries included is wild. I think it's okay. It could come into huge play. So we're looking at this. ARP has one of those maps that, like Shuffle Pit, it can have a very interesting gen spawns. This one looks like it's very heavily Shack side. Shack side looks to have 4 generators. Our corrupt intervention is down this side, so we've got 3 block generators. And this middle gen is, well, I guess that's actually a really, really middle gen. I'll correct myself right away. That being said, batteries included might give you a pretty good opportunity, and that does make that pretty good opportunity to, what'll probably happen is you hold one side of the map if you can with a 3 generator, and as survivors will start taking a hit and go down the other end. If that middle gen gets done, batteries included is going to make it a heck of a lot faster to chase them down that side. Good max range damage on Xeno with that bird. Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to jump in there, but I saw batteries included as we were loading in, and I was like, wow, that's interesting to me. Anyways.
Theoretically, this could be a strong build because you know that Artist is not a killer that is going to be using Bloodlust very much, so Rapid Brutality not going to be hurting her there. But Xeno is going to be going down there. Uncharacteristic, Xeno losing a 50-50 there on a pallet that you would feel like is strong enough to not need to 50-50. As it's going to be the first gen done by Marco. Oscar taking a hit, and Xeno's out. Off screen there. Xeno is off the killer's shoulders. Oscar, I mean, there had to be a call there that, like, I'm out with a hit. And Oscar there for his teammate. Xeno going to be continuing his chase now. And Pedro, crucially, is doing another generator here. How much time can this buy? As Xeno holding W down towards the main building side of the map. Bird going to come out there, and he just can't get away from it. So he's going to go down once again. But, I mean, in a much better part of the map now because this is where they've completed generators, Andrew. That is what's going to be super important here. Xeno now going to be hooked in a not great spot for Wee Jason's purposes.
What happened there? Like, okay, I'm gonna guess because we weren't watching it at the time. I have to assume that we were going for a pain res, right? Which we did, by the way. That was a pain res that just came in there, but after a generator completes, which means we did not get very good value out of it. I have to assume that we were going for a pain res. Basement's right there. I feel like that might have been a slip up. I feel like that wasn't the right play. I mean, maybe you want to stop the gen progress as quickly as you can, but if you put Xeno in basement there on the side with a strong 3 gen and the middle gen still sort of accessible, I don't know. Okay, so where are we going now? Are we trying to hook in the? This might have been what happened last time.
Yeah, he might not have good pain respawns, and this might be his best option. And there's going to be more hits coming in, and they know. Elysium knows that it's got to be that Wee Jason has just no pain reses on bottom side. That's the only explanation for this, isn't it?
Oh, but the second, okay, like it obviously very clearly, you're 100% right. There were two closer hooks that you could have gone to there, but after you dropped Xeno once, going for it again just seems like, I don't know, like we've lost so much pressure. We've lost 2 hook states. And in the better side of the map, Xeno goes down this side. Now we can't guard the hook, right? Like there's nothing you can do. You can't guard this hook. You hook and you run away. The fact that Xeno went down again was Xeno's choice, frankly, because they came in for that hit there. Yeah, and they split the 3 gen now. The 3 gen's gone. I have to say, I think that was a mistake. I don't want to put too much, come down too hard on Wee Jason here, but I feel like at the first time, fine, but doing it again, you gave away your 3 gen.
Yeah, and I mean, it is a really hard decision here for Wee Jason. It's saying like, do you go for the lower percentage play, and try to get that pain res hook when the survivors clearly know that that's the only one and they're going to come in and take hits, or do you just accept that you just have 3 perks this game? It's not an easy decision, and I can't blame Wee Jason for either decision that he could have made there.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I don't want to come, I don't want to be too harsh here. The first time I totally get it. It's the second time that just like, oh, but it's cost you so much already, We're gonna see Oscar go down here. There's still 2 gens left. This match isn't over. We still are, but we're playing for with the gen split. I think we're playing for stages, not a 4K. Not that you can necessarily 4K on artists. I just, again, you know, the woulda, coulda, shoulda. What happens if you basemented Xeno on that first chase? I feel like this is a different game at that point. But regardless, we're back into it. Painres, that hill gen. Oh my goodness, it's so disappointing. But maybe they went for the hill hook the first time because that hill hook is very strong.
Yeah, I think
maybe that's
he wanted the middle of the map hook so that he could watch the cross. But the hill gen, also a pain res as it is revealed. It's going to be Marco going down here, going to be a fresh hook. I mean, smart here from Jason that he's going for fresh hooks. Wants to get as many of those as he can. We're going to have Xeno completing the 4th generator any moment now as Marco being put up on his first hook, and that pain res is going to hit Xeno's gen. Actually, really not in as bad of a spot as we thought is Jason here. He's got quite a few fresh hooks. They've only got progress on 1 gen here, so we're not in danger of seeing endgame right now at the moment. Pedro now in chase in this middle area with these connecting tiles holding W towards the top side of the map. He is going to make this middle pallet here on this 4 lane and eventually take an M1 running towards main building here. Good pathing from Pedro, going away from the most important generators and towards the one that was just completed here, wasting as much of Jason's time as he can, forcing him to go to an area that he doesn't really care that much about. And this was probably going to be the final pain resonance hook for Jason. He's going to have to commit to something and try to get a kill after this comes in, but the gen spread is not looking good.
Can I glass half full here because I feel like I've been too harsh. Glass half full. Batteries included is a really hard perk to call, right? Like you have to watch the speed increase come in. So
is rapid brutality.
Rapid brutality too. So there may be situations where the survivors think that they've got a leg up or they've got the distance that they need and they don't have it. The fact that the gens are split like this means that we're going to be getting haste frequently. Right? Like we go near any of these generators and we get instant haste. I'm just waiting to see it happen because I know there's we aren't really near one of the gens yet. The gen that got done was there, but we're there just kicked in because we got close to this mid one. And that hit came in because of batteries included. I'm here for it. I love it. Great pick. Jason, I approve. That's amazing. That's awesome.
Yeah, and it looks like there's a couple of survivors clogging the middle area here. Xeno going to be just tanking a bird there, and I don't even know if Jason knew he was there. So going to be chasing onto Oscar now in this corner of the map. Got to imagine here that the survivors are doubling up on that final generator, whether it's Shack or on the other side of the map. Oscar taking a bird, but that was 2 birds used by Jason. So the cooldown is not going to come back in time, and that is going to be the Shack gen doubled up there. So doors are ready here for Elysium, and Oscar going to go down. So good start for Jason, but he's going to need a lot more than that. Xeno trying to waste the killer's time here at this tile. A lot of the resources here have not been depleted, Andrew, and Jason is a little bit afraid to pick up because of Xeno, this healthy survivor in the area, and with the champion of light as well.
It's interesting, going back to just a second ago, some people are not aware, if you don't play Artist, there was a bird back there I noticed. It's just a small thing, but we're going to get the pick. Oh, we're not going to get the pick up, but we are. Okay, but Xeno wants to die. Xeno's on death hook. Xeno wants to die. Forget what I was saying. I was just going to say the bird that they put, that Jason put on that pallet was too close to the pallet. Do they have a firecracker left? Because people are around. No, okay, so they're just taking the hook here, trying to get Xeno up. But everybody's injured. There's 2 survivors over here by... Okay, wow, quick heal on Xeno. Can we get the injured survivor is the question. Or the injured survivors, goodness.
Yeah, and Marco's going to be a good target there because he's only got 1 hook stage on him and he was already injured. So, I mean, Jason, he's just collecting as many stages as he can here. Doesn't really care if they unhook Oscar. He wants to get as many stages in his corner as he can. Maybe now extending the rest of the map, trying to find one more person. Xeno is still nearby, just playing dangerously with his life because he knows that he's dead on hook. He matters less than, say, getting another hook onto Pedro, who only has 1 stage. Doors are open, though, and I don't know if Elysium is going to be able to coordinate to get this save. as Xeno is the only healthy survivor. But Jason, he's extending pretty far away from this hook to get that hit on Xeno. Maybe knowing for sure that, yeah, Pedro and Oscar are resetting. So good game sense there out of Jason. Trying to get one more stage here. Any second now, those survivors are going to be healed and they're going to be coming back towards the hook. Xeno going to go down on the window.
Yeah, I was going to say that hits. So now you're going to have people coming in healthy. Sorry, one healthy. But they're going to have to leave, and we got an extra stage there instead of Xeno leaving. So you know what? Not a bad result for Jason. Not bad. Again, so unfortunate. We had good comms, great comms by the survivors of Elysium to tank those hits, to stop those like long trips to the hooks. But in the end, yeah, pretty decent result here. Wow.
Yeah, good end game there for Jason. He was able to pick up a lot of extra stages, secure that 2K, and I believe that is a 2K with is that 8 stages? So honestly, pretty good result for Jason. Sinners can feel pretty good about this, and they've definitely got a chance to come back into this game on the survivor side. So while we set up that other artist, 9 stages? Okay, yeah, even better than I thought then.
Yeah.
So while we set up that other half of the artist game, we're going to be taking a short break for a few minutes. So don't go anywhere, guys. We will be right back.
Welcome back, gamers. We are on our potentially last match of this last game of this matchup. We have Obi on the artist. Obi needs to get 10 hooks any which way to win this. Important to note, if we do see 9 hooks for fresh, we will see that will be a tie, and that will also be a win for Elysium. Although it will currently, Elysium is undefeated this season. It's only second week, so it's still good though. But if we do see a tie, they will have technically not won every single one of their matches. We do see a quick M1 coming through on Bucky. Slightly different build, a little bit more standard build, I'd say. Prion, agitation. It seems like Obi said, "Nah, that's not going to happen to me." What happened to Jason?
Yeah, I like this a lot more, personally, Andrew. I think agitation, if you are not bringing agitation on ARP or suffocation pit, you are doing it wrong. And that's going to be a nice bird hit there on the Jason. The shotgun type pattern coming out with that ink egg add-on, giving him 4 birds. And oh, nice mind game there on the 4 lane. Just standing still and doing nothing. And Jason mind games himself back into the killer. It's going to be a nice first hook for Obi. Good time being made here. And so that's 1, that's 2, that's 3. That is a 4 generator spread on the top side. And Jason is hooked on a hill in the middle of it.
Okay, so for the survivors, good news is the hill's facing mid. So they have to cross through mid, but it's not like they have to cross through mid, go around a hill, and come at it from the backside. So it's the best possible orientation for the hill, but that is rough. That is a very, very clear and strong 4gen on one side of the map, on the main building side of the map, and that's a hook up that side. So this is a very, very different start from last time. We did see a quick down on Xeno last time, but that wound up leading to that hit tank to try and get the pain res. That led to the wiggle off, that led to hooking on the exact opposite end of the map. So this is looking really strong for Obi right now. We're trying to get some gen progress across the map, and Obi's just content shooting out some birds to pester the generator repairers. So
still, and it seems like Sinners is not even committing resources to doing these topside generators. They're content to just work on the bottom side, which means that Obi just doesn't care about them. Jason gonna go to second stage. Obi is content to just throw birds at these bottom side generators to buy himself a few seconds with each hit of the bird, forcing the survivors to either repel or jump into a locker, making these gens that much slower. As Jason now on the struggle stage of the hook, and Obi, he's looking like he is in prime position to get a tunnel out here, going for maybe a bird slingshot there onto that gen on the other side of the map. Gonna just hold it in place though and grab an M1 onto SMS. SMS was trying to make it into the top side of the map and maybe work on a generator, but it's gonna be a little bit more difficult now that he's injured there. So still no save coming in onto Jason. This is looking pretty bad for Sinners.
Poor wee Jason. This is a replay of the Dracula set where it was downed first, hooked first, and died on first hook. Now, I'm not saying wee Jason's going to die on first hook, but look at this situation. Once again, stuck in this really rough, and the hit comes in, and we're not going to see the unhook. Zoob eats the 2 birds, and then the M1, and wee Jason's going to die on first hook again. Oh, no. Wow. And now we're going to get a hook even deeper in the top side into this 4-gen.
Incredible use of the hill geometry there from Obi. He's able to place the place 1 bird covering the entrance, and then once the survivor was forced to run into that bird, he was able to place 1 more towards the hook to get that 2-tap. Just exquisite killer play here from Obi, and just not much Sinners can do about it either. Going to be a miss there on the bus tile with the bird, and that is going to be a fast fault on the good window. Now, I mean, it's nice that Sinners has this good version of the bus, but it's not really going to be helping them that much when wee Jason is dead at 4 gens.
Where this is, if you're going to take anything away from this entire, Elysium, Sinners versus Elysium matchup today, it's that the importance of the tunnel out. All 3 games, and that's going to be a nicely set up bird there, little trap set by the artist. All 3 of our sets today have had a very, very, very quick tunnel out by Elysium. It led to the 4K3 on Cenobite. It led to the 4K1 on Dracula, and we'll see how this one plays out. But the very, very, tunnel out at 4 gens, not even a tunnel out, dead on first hook. There was no tunnel involved. Wee Jason just died on first hook. They were unable to get that, unfortunately unable to get that save. So when you're watching this back, when you're looking back at this as a team, on the killer side, we got to find a way to tunnel out, and on the survivor side, we got to find a way to stop the tunnel out. I know that seems obvious, but it's what happened here today.
Yeah, and I just want to say one little off-topic thing here. I really like Zeno's artist fit. I'm a big fan of that headpiece that has the missing jaw, adding a little bit more horror to the artist. So points to Zeno I keep saying Zeno, it's Obi. I'm so used to like Zeno playing every single killer for Elysium, these roster shakeups. When they add another killer player that has such a giant killer pool, it's a little bit confusing for me, even though it says Obi right there on the screen. I won't do that again.
Simple mistake.
Yeah,
You're just a Zeno fan.
Obi now chasing SMS at the main building, and this main building is kind of, well, I was going to say impossible to play against the artist, but we are going to be dodging out on the birds by going into the locker, and that's the head-on there from SMS. Nice job there. And he's actually, that is the only way to escape that main building against the artist, as long as the door is not broken. You never want to break that door if you're playing artist on this map, because you can just trap survivors in there with a bird at the window. So SMS continuing in chase here onto this 4-lane, takes the vault on the window. We know he doesn't have another exhaustion perk. He's going now into the corner. He's got a pallet here.
Really good chase. Again, really quick tunnel out again. Really, unfortunately, dead on first hook, along with a failed trade. Like, we weren't able to even trade the hook. That was a really good chase. We got 2 gens for it. Like, again, it's like, I mean, I'm talking like this match is over. It's not over yet. I'm talking like this match is over just because of the way it was going, but things have recovered. This is actually, it's an uphill battle, but it's not over yet.
Yeah, and I mean, it is the 3v1, but in the past, we've, in the comp community, talked about teams that are like better in the 3v1 than they are in the 4v1, like Eternal used to be. So maybe we're about to see that coming out from Sinners. They are going to need a lot here. They're going to need to run Obi for an extremely long time, and that might not be happening with both of the survivors getting found on the wrong side of the map here. Yeah, I mean, SMS is on the hook. Both of these survivors' locations are known, and even with the 99 sprint burst there out of Zoob, it's not really going to buy enough time for Bucky to go and get the unhook. As Obi, he knows. He knows exactly where that injured survivor is. He's going back to try to prevent that unhook, and honestly, he might force them to heal and do a double save if they actually want to unhook SMS.
Well, I mean, I don't know how far they got along the heel on Bucky there, but I don't think they have enough time for that. We're gonna maybe go for a trade, but I mean, trading isn't really gonna solve the problem. Although no trade. Although, oh, those severed hands did spread the birds, so now we have two survivors with birds. Waiting till the borrowed time was still on, so we didn't want to swing through, and SMSFR manages to get the stun. Birds do hit those, so we're one bird away from seeing SMSFR leave this match, as I said. And Zood came in to maybe tank a hit there to keep themselves in the 3v1 instead of a 2v1, and unfortunately goes down as well. Only last man standing is Bucky here on our ace, and we have been found. You know what? Good effort by our survivors in this 3v1, but I don't know whether it's unfortunate positioning when the first down comes in. If it's, well, we'll just let him go to struggle and then we'll go get the unhook, and not prep, like planning for the unhook in time and running out of time on that second hook count. I don't know what it is exactly. I mean, Obi did a really good job using the birds to identify where the survivors were. Caught one survivor coming in. I believe it was actually SMSFR coming in on sort of near where we're at here on the right side of the map. I don't know. Add it all up, it all adds up to OB 4K2 here, but yeah, I don't know where it went wrong, but I imagine if Sinners go back and reviews these matches, they're going to need to come back next week and really figure out how they're getting deaths on first hook and how they can recover from that, so they can continue to progress in the tournament.
Yeah, it really comes down to survivors being able to recognize where the generators have spawned as soon as possible when they load into the game. And if they're too late on that, then we're going to see a killer as strong as Obi with that agitation. He's going to get a hook in the perfect spot. Obi had great chases this game. I'd never seen him play Artist before, but this was very impressive. So, really good job here by Elysium. They are going to remain undefeated, taking this series in a 3-0 sweep.